Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. All right. It was a couple days ago that Adam Schiff came out and voiced his opinion that Biden should pass the torch on to another Democratic candidate for presidency. And it's interesting. In the article I was reading in the Los Angeles Times, he was saying, well, it's Biden's choice to make, but there's a lot of good people sitting on the bench that could beat Trump, and beating Trump is the main goal of the 2024 election. To which I would say, then why the hell are you saying this publicly and not privately, and shutting up and saying you support President Biden's decision? Because in the article, you're basically saying you support President Biden's decision, but you have an opinion. That's not something that needs to be public. I mean, talk about undermining your own candidate. It gives me pause, shall we say. Now, in the California Senate primaries, Katie Porter was livid with Adam Schiff after the primaries were done. And I don't know the reason why, but I suspect it had something to do with attack ads and support ads that supported Steve Garvey, who was a former baseball player for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 70s and 80s, as the Republican candidate, as opposed to obliterating him and having Californians choose between Adam Schiff and Katie Porter. I should back up. For California elections, this has been a fairly recent change. It's a ranked choice type voting thing. And when you vote in the primaries, it's just the two top vote getters square off in the election. So if enough Democrats vote for Adam Schiff and Katie Porter, Steve Garvey, the Republican, even though he's the top Republican vote getter, would finish third, and he would not be in the running for the final seat. So you're voting for a Democrat or a Democrat. And I'm guessing that Adam Schiff's teams saw Katie Porter as a way bigger threat to him getting to be a senator than Steve Garvey. And I think that's why Katie Porter's upset. But now we hear him going out there, basically, Eight of Swords just popped up, basically, verbalizing what he should be internalizing and privately talking behind doors. Nothing screams unity more, he said with a very sarcastic tone, than going out undermining the very candidate you purport to be supporting. At least in theory. So, I have not seen Libby's video on Adam Schiff. She put it out a couple of days ago. After I do this reading, I am now free to go watch hers and see what she got on this and see if we line up at all. But I want to find out what is going on with Adam Schiff, man. She'd actually done two readings. She did one back in the primary, which is back in the March time frame. And it's like, my God, Adam, what did you do? That type of thing. It's like the dog leaving a mess on the carpet type thing. And, he's done it again. What's wrong with this person? Linda G. also talked about this briefly, about writing in Katie Porter. And somebody had, one of her viewers commented, it's like, right now, with the major dumpster fire that we've got going on in the federal government, it's better right now to get Adam Schiff in there as a senator for the next 6 years, rather than potentially cede that seat to Steve Garvey. Okay? It's just the way it should be. We can make Adam Schiff pay in the next election cycle. If he deserves to be voted out, we can vote him out in the next election cycle. But right now, we just need as many blue rowers rowing the boat as we possibly can. Okay? Don't like that. It's not, it's a purity test. It's idealism, but right now pragmatism trumps idealism. Okay, so Adam Schiff, what's going on? Energy around you. Why did you feel the need to verbalize what should have been private conversations? Okay, entertainment purposes only. Queen of Swords. Now, it's interesting because this is a card I usually use for Nancy Pelosi, and Nancy Pelosi has backed Adam Schiff. She got him on one of the impeachment panels, and he has been absolutely fantastic in those roles. Came across as very reasonable, very intelligent, somebody who could, you would like to think he could reason with both sides of the political aisle. Now, he's been vilified and impeached and or censured, I believe. But I don't think it's about Nancy Pelosi, but it's that vibe. It's that very cutting vibe. And it's just, in the article I read, Nancy Pelosi said Adam Schiff did not talk to her. I think if Adam Schiff did talk to her, she would tell him that this is not the time for disunity. So he's making his own decisions at this point. Are they good decisions? We don't know. Crossed with the King of Wands. And there's that Eight of Swords again that came popping up. I think he's ambitious and he wants more. Does he want to be the president? Maybe he should get through the Senate first. It could be something as simple as he does not think Biden can win. And Biden needs to step down and appoint somebody else. I guess in his mind, he doesn't want to be stuck with Biden and he doesn't want to be stuck with Trump. And so he spoke his mind. And he wants action taken because he spoke his mind. Okay. Excuse me. In the past, you got the Nine of Wands. There's this nervousness as the election's coming up that the Democrats aren't doing enough to secure this election. That if they don't do enough and Trump gets reelected, that we will slip into an autocracy and an oligarchy. And now I was just watching a Pete Buttigieg interview where he basically said, we're overthinking this here. When you look at like the Elon Musks and people like that backing Trump, he just kept saying, let's keep it simple. Very extremely wealthy men do well under Republican government. And therefore, extremely wealthy men are voting for Republicans for the presidency. Simple as that. I mean, I think we can all agree that an autocracy is not good for this country. And again, as somebody in my comment section pointed out, the industrialists thought they could contain that funny little man with the funny little mustache in Germany in the 1930s and 1940s, and they couldn't. And it looks like American industrialists feel like they can control the president, who's insane. Entertainment purposes only. History tried to repeat itself. Current situation. Oh, it's a brawl. It's a drunken brawl. Yeah, there's a current situation. There is just a lot of energy. It's a huge fray right now. As honestly, panic. Boy, God, we got to do something. It's like chickens running around with their proverbial tops removed from their bodies, screaming that the sky is falling. There's an absolute panic. And he's not helping. There's a great saying that you should be like the duck. Look calm and tranquil above the surface, and then underneath the surface, paddling like a maniac. The energy is fine, but it should be subverted. It should be underwater, behind closed doors, where nobody is seeing it outside of, quote unquote, the family. This is a family issue. I gave an analogy. It's like trying to take the keys away from grandpa. You don't need to be out in the middle of the street screaming it out. Go in the house, close the door, close the windows on the nonsense, and talk it out. Overarching energy is the Knight of Swords. He's flexing. He's going to come in and rescue the Democratic Party. He's got an idea, and he's, God, I don't want to say it's Trump-like energy, but it's kind of Trump-like that I and I alone can solve this problem. Dude, that was reckless and stupid, and you're smarter than that. And because you're smarter than that, we have to assume that this isn't some gaffe that you mistakenly did. This was on purpose. You want to change, and you're trying to force it. You're trying to use your influence to change Joe Biden and force him into something. The lesson to be learned is the levers. Adam Schiff may be a lot more ambitious than what he leads on. And I think Katie Porter was our early warning system on that. She trusted him. I think they had agreements. She trusted him. It should be the Democrats trying to get both seats in the primary for the Senate seat. And then, whatever Democrat appeals the most to the California populace would be elected the senator. Adam Schiff appears to believe that Katie Porter was the bigger threat, and he eliminated the bigger threat in the primary, thinking that he'll have no problem eliminating the Republican in the general, which is probably the right move for an ambitious person who wants to move up. But you erode trust with your colleagues. And Katie Porter is a trusting person because she's out there trying to do the right thing and fighting the good fight. You can't trust Adam Schiff now. He is regressing to a typical ambitious politician. Outcome is the Nine of Cups. Again, Eight of Swords. He feels like he's stuck with Biden. And, he's stuck and he wanted to do something about it. There's not going to be really any repercussions for him. If Biden steps down, he's self-satisfied because Biden did what he thought Biden should do. And he'll think that the Democrats have the best chance for winning. If Biden doesn't step down, well, he'll probably be the California senator anyways. And, he's either going to be right or relieved. If Biden doesn't step down, he'll either be right and Biden loses, or if Biden wins, he'll be relieved and he'll be a senator. So this is a short-term play, best as I can see with this. And do I think it's the right short-term play? No. Is it an ambitious short-term play? Yeah. How is Adam Schiff feeling come the end of January 2025, after the new president has been sworn in and after Congress has been sworn in? How is Adam Schiff feeling at that point? Let's peer into the future, shall we? Actually, no. Before we get to there, I'd rather do this. How is Adam Schiff feeling about Joe Biden's final decision when Joe Biden makes his final decision? Doesn't that seem like a more interesting read. I'm going to leave those cards. I had a small cluster of cards fall out. That would be about 7 cards or so. So I think I'm going to just leave those out. Let's see. Adam Schiff. How is he feeling about Joe Biden's decision after Biden makes his decision? 6 of coins. Charity. Fundraising. Okay. Biden's fundraising apparently has dropped in July. Maybe it's doing what you can, whether it's a lot or a little. Let's see. Crossed by the star card. How is Adam Schiff feeling about Joe Biden's decision? You know, it's charity versus picking the star and the devil. Funny. These are my 2 cards for J.D. Vance and Trump. Does Biden stand, or does he pick a rising star? You got the devil underneath, trying to beat Trump. So he's still concerned about Trump. In the past, we got the Fool card, starting a new journey, or a foolish decision. Current situation is the leaving, or the calm, going to calmer shores from troubled waters. Looking forward to the results for something coming in. Time to spin the big wheel. And the walking away. This could go either way. Let's read it. Okay, let's say Biden stays in. Okay, well, I'll do what I can. Be a team player again because I want to be a rising star. But, I think Schiff has started a new journey with his political career. And he rocked the boat by doing a public announcement. And after Biden's made his decision, he's trying to calm things down and look forward to the election because anything can happen. And, he's going to have to walk away from his passion about Biden stepping down. Still concerned about Trump. Now let's say Biden was to step down due to health reasons. Well, Schiff is going to feel like a star, a rising star here. That he made the right play and that Biden's leaving. And now somebody new can come in. And now we just have to figure out who that person is because we need to figure that out rather quickly. And, again, this could be Biden leaving. But who do you find to fill that position here? Okay, so this is really down to a free will decision on Joe Biden. Not that that's a surprise. I don't like these cards if Joe Biden's leaving because of this outcome right here. We don't know who's going to replace the man as he walks away. And that's, again, if you don't have Beau of the 5th column in your daily feed, I really recommend that you add him. Libby would tell you the same, as would my brother. He is a fantastic independent journalist / reporter. And he was talking about this the other day. And one of the things he talked about was, suppose you're right. Suppose Biden should step down. Who do you have lined up to replace him? And the thing he was sort of basically, and what do you base it on? Because polls are snapshots. So what data do you have to choose somebody? And not everybody who would be ideal for the job wants the job. But the way the job is up right now, and I think he was talking about Gretchen Whitmer, I was saying that she doesn't want the job, which she said, anybody who doesn't want the job is actually one of the best people to put in that job. But the way we're currently set up is that that's not how it goes. Somebody who wants to be the president is somebody who can be the president until we can draft him. He was a little tongue-in-cheek there, but I think he was being very serious when he said that. But the other thing he was basically hammering on is, okay, let's say you chase this guy out of here and you want to replace him with somebody else. Who's it going to be? You've effectively have run out of time. Now, are you going to bicker and squabble for the next several weeks as you try and figure out who your presidential candidate's going to be? And, what if the polls that you've got one day for candidate A over candidate B, C, D, E, and F, 2 weeks from now, they're completely different. And 2 weeks from that, they're different again. You've cost yourself an election by a lack of decision. You're really good at kicking one guy out. I'm ad-libbing at this point. Bo didn't say this, but it's basically the take-home message is, yeah, you can kick somebody out, but if you don't have a plan in place, don't enact the first step if you don't have steps 2, 3, 4, and 5 lined up and ready to go afterwards. And there's no indication that the Democrats have a plan, have an exit strategy. Their best exit strategy right now is to have Biden be reelected and then come up with a secession plan for Joe Biden if and when he doesn't feel like he can do the job anymore. That would be a much better plan than replacing him now and hoping for the best. There's too much writing on this election. All right. Okay, I was going to ask, how's Adam Schiff feeling in January, end of January 2025? How's Adam Schiff feeling at the end of 2025? I didn't get to listen to Kim on a tour of you either. Got so many of my favorite people to listen to. Okay. Four-carder. Deck is upside down. He's feeling like he's on the outside looking in. Okay. King of Wands, decisions were made. Did not get what he wanted. Did it to himself. Now he has to fight. Assuming he gets reelected or gets elected as senator in California, which, given how heavily this state voted against Donald Trump, Steve Garvey will have some popularity amongst the Trump supporters, not the least of which he's a Republican and a former athlete that they can identify with. So he'll get a lot of the male vote. Schiff should win the Senate convincingly. But I think taking a public opinion like he did is not going to serve him well. I don't think this means Biden's losing. I'm working in the assumption Biden is winning here. If Biden loses, well, there's no sense in doing this reading because there's not going to be a Congress, right? There's no need for a Congress, no need for a Supreme Court either. So we're working in the assumption Biden's winning here. Schiff now has to deal with the consequences of his actions. This is the same sort of vibe that my brother did a reading on the Twin Tarot channel, where is Joe Biden going to keep score of those who supported him and those who undermined him, whether it's wealthy political donors or members of the Democratic Party. I think Schiff's message overall about passing the torch is the right one for the Bidens and the Pelosi's and the late Dianne Feinsteins and so on and so forth. For the octogenarians and above, yeah, pass the torch along. Give it to our 30-year-olds and our 40-year-olds and our 50-year-olds. Let them have a go on it. Let them become tomorrow's leaders today. But you got to get there. You got to get through today first. Yeah, I think he'll get in, but he's not happy with the options that he's going to have in the Senate. It's because he forced a decision. He went public with his decision, and he did it to himself. And now he's got to fight for all the committee assignments and for everything that he's going to have to do in the Senate. He's going to have to fight to regain his reputation. In the long run, he'll be fine, but I think he's going to face some short-term consequences. And it would be stuff like, maybe he was expecting to be on the Senate Intelligence Committee after being on, like, the chair of the House Intelligence Committee. And maybe he doesn't get those chairmanships that he's expecting. Not as a punishment per se, because Biden can't punish him for that because Biden doesn't make those calls. But I'm sure Biden can make a call to Chuck Schumer and say, hey, Chuck, it's great to be reelected and everything like that. And, I know that you're going to be appointing a Senate Intelligence Committee, and I really think this person A is a better person. And, Adam Schiff could probably stand to learn how they do things in the Senate. If he's on the Intelligence Committee, probably should be a more junior member on that team, so he can learn from a senator on how things are done in the Senate. It's something like that, something just sort of a kick in the nuts with a smile, delivered with a smile, a warm, pleasant smile. Oh, politics. Okay, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Have a good day, folks. Catch you on the next one.